This Huntington Road spread is just one of 15 Kleinburg area homes owned by the Toronto Region Conservation Authority and visited last week by the Sun's investigative team. This home and 117 others are being rented at, shall we say, very modest rents.
We knocked on the door and no one was home, but I can tell you this home is spectacular. It overlooks a valley with a babbling brook below. It's contained on several acres of land and has a nice little cottage in front. Who wouldn't want to rent this home? I would. It's a beautiful day to visit another Toronto Region Conservation Authority owned home. This one is nestled in the woods in Woodbridge off of Rutherford Road. It's the home of a woman I'm going to call the bird lady because she likes birds. She's also a university professor and has a lovely, lovely view of the woods behind her home.
Our next visit on the Kleinburg area homes tour was to the house where Brian Denny, the CEO of TRCA, made his home for 25 years. However, the current tenant was reluctant to speak with us.
No? Okay.
Sorry, all these things are private, and quite
well,
frankly,
actually, it's a
I don't want to be involved in it.
Well, it's a publicly owned house.
Okay.
Behind you see a sign that says private property, no trespassing. But this actually isn't private property, it's publicly owned land with a publicly owned house on it. It's owned by the Toronto Region Conservation Authority. And guess who lives there? The CEO of the Toronto Region Conservation Authority, Brian Denny. Nice job if you can get it. Nice house if you can get it.
I know that our staff often have a hard time finding tenants at the rates that we charge. That it's a substantial rent, and then you're also on the hook for all of the utilities, of course, which adds up. You know, I can tell you, financially it has not been a great thing for me to be a tenant all of these years and paying all that rent back to the authority, but it's a balancing act between what do you want to pay and where do you want to live. And it was nice to be able to live in a somewhat rural setting, and it was also nice for me to know that the rent I was paying was going back to the authority, and we do generate a small net return on our rental portfolio that helps to run our real estate group.
It does, okay.
Well, the vast majority of homes that TRCA owns are in locations where we wouldn't want development in the future. So they've been acquired as part of parkland acquisition schemes or water management schemes over the years. So it's really the property that's of interest, and then the decision becomes, is the house good enough to rent, or should we knock it down now, or will we knock it down later?
Despite the alleged hardships of living in the country, mice, mold, the cost of oil heating, and the lack of transit, Mr. Denny has lived in 2 TRCA homes for the last 38 years, paying modest rents for both. His home is one of 117 where renters are also living and paying in what we believe are modest rents. For the Toronto Sun, I'm Sue Ann Levy.